and in today's episode I'm photographer. Welcome to my studio. I will be a sole trader, so my business type will be a sole trader, and to record my business transactions I have selected a bookkeeping or accounting software called Crunch. Without dragging this intro very long, let's register on Crunch, go through settings section, and also I want to touch up on add-on section where there's multiple functions or features that I can enable to better and easier manage my business operations. Okay, let's register on Crunch first. So search in your browser by Crunch Accounting and you will see Crunch Co UK. Okay, to register we will go to, let's accept. We'll go to bottom and we'll select sole trader. So in my case I have sole trader company, and I will start with a package for Crunch free. Okay, choose this plan. Now I need to select my type of a business. In my case I'm sole trader, but if you're individual or limited company, select the one which is more appropriate to you. Continue. Now I need to fill in my details. Okay, agree terms and conditions, privacy policy. And if you want to receive messages from Crunch, then select one of the below options what they provide. In my case I'm fine without receiving them. Okay, sign up for Crunch. Okay, let's set up new password, and we need to confirm the same password, so we need to enter twice. And we are on my Crunch sole trader account. So this is how it looks like. Like on left hand side on sidebar we have multiple options to choose from, and we will go through in this tutorial. To go and check settings you need to click on either here or on question mark and be going as well. So in my case I will click on drop down box under my Rita Cake account, and we have a settings section, and there is not lots of on settings to cover on Crunch, which makes settings section a breeze. So on left hand side we have your business, and on right hand side we have information about, in this case, about me and my business. So if I need to amend my business name I can do it here, as well as add my sole trader business address, logo, and if I want to export my Crunch data. And on right hand side I have my name, email address, phone number, and I can also opt in for my marketing preferences if I want. So that's it. That's all what you need to do on settings section on Crunch. If we want to change to different package, we need to go through subscriptions. So in my case, I'm on free package, and all what's included in package is covered with, I would say, icons in pink, red color. All other options which are excluded or not included in my free package will be like with a lock icon, and they're part of Pro. So if I want to upgrade to paid package, I can go through CEO packages and select one which applies. So I can compare in this case what is the differences between free package and paid package. For example, if it's important for you to have an accountant support, you will need to opt out for Sole Trader Pro package, which would be £24.50 per month, plus VAT of course. Need to add on top, and VAT is 20%. If you outgrow, like if I would outgrow my sole trader business and I would want to start to use limited company like settings, features, and etc., there is $75.50 per month plus VAT for limited company package, and there's more options or features what will be enabled. So if you decide to go for paid Sole Trader Pro package, click on upgrade and we'll be able to do it. I will keep myself on free package and we'll go through functions what we can complete on this free version. Okay, so that covers settings and subscriptions. On left hand side we have upgrade icon here, so we can upgrade our subscription if we want. So if I click on upgrade, it brings back to subscriptions environment or area. But then there is another one function what I want to go through briefly as well, and it's add-ons. And in add-ons, because I'm on free package, I'm not able to reach out to someone and seek for an advice unless I pay for it. So there is an option that I can book a session with my accountant, like assigned accountant to me, to help with my queries. So you can still use someone's advice and support from accounting team, who are of course expert chartered certified crunch accountants. So you can book a session. Also there is option to use debt collection feature from Crunch accounting team that can be enabled from second icon called debt collection. There is another icons what I would like to enable because that will make my life easier. One of them are Crunch Snap for expenses. So if I have receipts or mainly receipts. If I have receipts, I can take a picture immediately and Crunch Snap will read an information from this receipt and create or record this transaction automatically under expenses section. Free version includes 15 receipt uploads per month. If you want unlimited, there's $350 plus VAT per month available, but then you can take or snap as many receipts as you want. So that's quite good feature to enable and use. So I will say that I want add and I want Snap Lite, which is 15 receipts per month per user, and I agree to service descriptions and sign up. Okay, so now it's showing that it's active. Next, we can use banking, fast, simple, secure banking. That can be enabled as well. There is promote your business options, and then there is offers if you want. For example, they've got self-employed jobs board which can be used, or we can also do where it went. Oh, here it is. Free digital marketing audit from Traction. So there is multiple options that can be used, and especially if you are into cryptocurrencies, then Crunch accounting software got like a partnership with Coinly, which allows you to subscribe and use calculate like Coinly system to calculate crypto taxes, which is quite important. And Coinly is quite global company, so if you are Crunch member, you will have 40% discount. So that's quite a good point if you also have a cryptocurrency account. So this covers add-on settings and subscriptions, how we can change to a paid package if we need more features to run our business. So in my case, to run my photography business. Okay, I need to rush for a photo shoot, so let's check my equipment. Spare cables is there, it's great. My charger is here. Lead, spare battery 2, spare battery 1. Multiple memory cards. I can see 4, that's perfect. So I think so I'm ready to go. Where is my camera? Oh, there is my camera. Oh, I almost got a heart attack. So, how I can actually record new customer on Crunch accounting software. Also, how I can issue invoice, recurring invoice, and if I have done maybe a boo-boo or something have went wrong, can I issue a credit note on Crunch accounting software? So let's have a look on next section called sales. So how I can add a new client or customer on Crunch? After I added my business details of my company, then on left hand side there is a section called sales, and to add new client, scroll to or go to bottom of that list and click on clients. To add new client, on right hand side click on new client, and here is our client or customer card which need to be filled in. It has 6 sections starting with company details, then more contact details like if they've got different departments, then of course their address, and then I can choose if I want add any notes to sales invoice. I would like to show bank details on it, as well as if I want enable late payment reminders. So let's start from the top. So top section is company details. So here is where I add my either private person's name and surname or my company name. So I will have Events Limited. I can add a phone number if I have. If you haven't got, leave a blank. Then we can select the different currencies if this client uses different currencies. There is 5 most commonly used currencies only available. I will keep to my pound sterling currency. Payment terms. So we can allow this customer to pay not, let's say, immediately, but give a couple of days or even month or 2 months for them to pay this invoice. So in my case, I would say that I would give 7 days. These are my payment terms and conditions to my customers, but you apply your payment terms and conditions and what you have agreed with your clients. You might have some clients who need to pay immediately or they will pay immediately, so your payment terms will be 0 days. Okay. Add email address, so emails can be sent to this customer with an invoice, and also reminders of any invoices that have been not paid. Okay, I will add my email address. Contact details, if you have any additional contact details to add to this client or customer, add those here. Name, email address, phone number, role. For example, if it's like finance administrator or finance manager, or maybe it's sales manager, you can add role here and have multiple contact details who you can reach out afterwards. Billing address, let's add details. And if it's VAT registered business, you can add VAT number here. So I will leave blank. Okay, sales invoice note. So once I would issue invoice to this client, I can add a particular note. For example, in my case, I will add please pay by BACS, by bank transfer. Okay, so this information will show up on sales invoice. I can add thank you for your business. Okay, then if I have bank information added on my banking section, I will be able to tick and select which bank account information should show up on invoice. So instead of adding this information, if you have bank already set up, we will cover it a little bit later, then you will be able to tick this box and from drop down box select which bank details you want to show, because maybe you have multiple bank accounts. For example, if you have euro account, bank account, maybe you have American dollars account, so multiple currencies to cater multiple customers in their countries, then you might be able to select for particular customer, particular bank account to show on that invoice. Okay, and then I can also enable late payment reminders. So for example, I set 7 days of payment terms. So once after 7 days they have not paid, I can say that send after 1 day reminder that this invoice is due for a payment. And I can select that this reminder only goes to me or to client as well. So in my case, I will say that I want to send that this reminder goes to me and to client as well. And I will click Save Client. So my added client is below. If you don't want any clients to show up, we can edit, so eCrunch Limited, and delete client. That's how we can remove client from the list. So I have Events Limited. I will add a couple more new clients. Okay, here are all my clients or customers at this moment. So how I can issue invoices from Crunch accounting software? I had a free appointment that I attended and or free photography appointments that I want to issue invoices to. So first appointment happened on 26th of April and it was for Jane. It was a family photo shoot on the beach. So how I can issue invoice to Jane? So on left hand side there is invoices under sales section, and to issue a new invoice, click on new invoice on right hand side. From drop down box we will select our client. If you have a new client, click on new client and fill in details for new client and then issue invoice. Then we will go to next section, and that's where we need to select details. So for example, I can still change currency if I issue to Jane in different currency. In my case, it's in pounds sterling. And invoice date, you can select either it's automatic and it will take today's date, or set myself. In my case, appointment happened on 26th of April. Okay, I can add client reference if there is separate invoice number which you need to quote, or if client have provided or customer have provided their purchase order number, so it can be quoted here. If you haven't got one of those, don't worry, leave just blank. Don't worry about those. Payment terms I set up as a 0 days because they paid immediately. So Jane paid me immediately on the same date. And okay, I need to note if this invoice is VAT, the amount will include VAT. I'm not VAT registered business, so in my case I will leave unselected. And then I can select how I can add a line details. Line details covers this section. So if it can be simple or it can be detailed. If it's detailed, for example, it's more for stock. If we're sending stock out, then it will be detailed. In my case, it's simple. Okay, and click on add line item. I will add So I add a description of photo shoot. In my case, this was £100 package. We'll leave auto outside the scope. And once I'm happy, click save. So this will add a line, and I can add a discount if I want, and I can edit if I want to edit this still line what I added, or I can actually remove it completely by clicking on that cross button. If there will be any expenses that are incurred as a part of this invoice what I'm issuing to my customer, then there will be option to note that I can add a rechargeable expenses. So if there is any receipts, for example, if there will be photo book or etc., I can add, but those we will cover a little bit later. Okay, so once I'm happy, I'm scrolling to next section. Now I can select if I want to include an invoice note. So I will select that I want. In my case, it's thank you for your business note. When I will have enabled bank details, I can add bank details. And I'm happy not to send reminder because Jane paid me immediately. And if there is any files what I want to attach, like pictures or maybe contract, I can upload and add as a part of invoice. So once I'm happy, I can save this as a draft or preview and issue. In my case, I will preview and issue. So here I can still edit invoice from right hand side. There is option to edit invoice if something doesn't write on your invoice preview section. So, and I'm happy with how the invoice looks like. I will issue invoice. Okay, so invoice has been issued and it is already showing below there. I had another client, Alex. I'm providing also online photography courses. So Alex signed up for online photography course for one complete course which covers 3 months. So I will add invoice or issue invoice to Alex. The same, will keep currencies the same. I will say that my date is, I will select date myself, and it was on 28th of April. I have no references to use, will leave blank, and it will be simple, not detailed. If I want, I can add detailed. In that case, I will say online course, and we'll say May, July. So I can say that monthly subscription rate is 50 and it's 3 months. And once I'm happy, click save. So this will add that I have May to July online course, 50, 3 months, and total is 150. If I want to add discount, I can click on add discount. In that case, I can add a discount percentage and how much it will be. And it will reduce the value from 150 to whatever discount is provided. For example, I will click cancel. I will edit line. I will say that online course is May to August. Oops, can't type. August. And rate, and I will put 4. Yeah, click save. So 4 months would cost 200. But I'm adding a discount of 1 month, which is 1 month free, £50, and save. So this would add a discount because Alex signed up for 4 months. 1 month he gets for free on my online course, and total is 150. So this way how we can add a discount. Either it can be as a text line or it can be as a percentage. It's up to you. Okay. If I want to include any notes, I can still type any notes here. Okay. I can add bank details once they will be enabled, and once I'm happy, click save as a draft. If we click as a save as a draft, it will show as a draft here on pending. So when we go to options, we will have multiple options to choose. We can view this invoice, we can edit this invoice, we can issue, download as PDF, create estimate or quote, raise similar invoice, or set up as a recurring invoice. In my case, I will issue this invoice, issue invoice, so this being distributed to Alex. And now I have another invoice for Hendu, and Lucy asked me to issue invoice as soon as possible because she would like to send me money. So I have issued invoices to Jane, Alex, and Lucy. So now I have issued invoices to my 3 clients, but I have been quite lucky and I've got a contract with Events Limited for taking pictures every Saturday in peak season when the wedding happens. So I've been booked across summer, starting from June until end of September for 4 months. Every Saturday I should be allocating 6 to 8 hours from my day of taking pictures of new married couples at their venue. So how I can record a recurring invoice on Crunch? So under sales there is option called recurring invoices, and to add a new recurring invoice you will actually need to set up invoice as it would be a normal invoice and then select from options to convert this as a recurring invoice. So in my case, this invoice will be to Events Limited and it will be in pounds, and I will select date. First test and trial happened on 30th of April, and I will add line. And I have agreed on rate of £810 per that my time what I will give to them. Okay, and let's include a note and send the reminders. Okay, save as a draft. Okay, so let's go back to my invoices, and there is Events Limited as a draft. Options, set up a recurring invoice. So on right hand side when you click under options there is set up recurring invoice, and now we will select details or options to allow this invoice recur every week in my case. Okay, so repeat every weekly, I can select. Okay, let's go a little bit back. So you can select if that invoice need to recur daily, only on weekdays, weekly, monthly, or even annually. In my case, I have weekly, and I'm selecting that it needs to repeat every week. So invoice will be issued every week and on Saturday. And starting date, in this case, I can select that it starts from 4th June 1st, because on 30th of April was just a trial and I've been selected or shortlisted as a contractor for this venue. Okay, ends, and I can select when it will end. So in my case it will end at the end of September, so actually it will be on 1st of October. Okay, and now I can select how I want this invoice to be issued. So issue invoice, email invoice to client. In my case, if you don't want it to be emailed, you want to review it first, don't select or don't tick this box. Reminder. Okay, I will say that I will have a reminder 1 day before issuing. I can also select never, so no reminders will be required for this event and it will be issued automatically. In my case, I will say that I do not need, but if you don't email to client straight away, you can select that there's 2 days before issuing invoice, you have a reminder coming through. Okay, I will select never and create an event. Okay, so now when we go to left hand side on recurring invoices, there is recurring invoice for events limited. Okay, when we click on options, we can edit this event, we can edit invoice template if needed, we can disable as recurring invoice so it will not recur anymore, or we can completely delete it. Okay, so as I have actually done a test and trial for one of my wedding events, so I need to actually issue an invoice to events for this event, what happened on 30th of April. So I will quickly enter invoice here. So now I have issued invoices to my private persons or individuals, as well as events limited company. And when I go to recurring invoices, here is where is my list of my recurring invoices. So when I go back to invoices, I can see there is events as a draft and pending. If I do not need this, I can edit. And when I scroll to the bottom, I can delete invoice. So I can delete this draft invoice. This is a way how you can remove it from your list. So we added, under this section, we added clients or customers. We also issued invoices and create a recurring invoice. So I have issued invoices, and by mistake I actually issued invoice 0005 ending to Alex for a photo shoot. So how I can issue a credit note? The way how to do it, go on left hand side, click on invoices, and where's the Alex invoice for £50 on options, I will have an option to raise a credit note. Click on raise credit note, and now I will select the date. So select the date, or you can select an automatic day's date, and now net amount to include on credit note. So in my case, I need to issue credit note for full amount because it's been entered by mistake and issued to Alex. But if you want to issue only partial credit, you can add partial. For example, if you want on credit note to show up £10 as a reduction for that invoice, for example, if it was for 50 and credit note will be for 10, so balance will stay as 40. So in my case, I'm issuing for full amount. So add information there, and once you're happy, click on raise credit note. Okay, so credit note have been created. Okay, so when I click on this invoice, okay, there is credit note in a draft. This credit note. Click on options and issue. Okay, so this is how is a credit note look like. Scroll to the bottom, and we can still edit credit note if needed, but if you're happy, click issue credit note. So once credit note is issued, there is detailed information giving that credit note ending 01 being issued. And when I go back to invoices, where is Alex? This one. 2nd of May invoice is showing as a paid, but actually it's been credit note issued to this client. So this is the way how we can issue credit notes. If there is any refunds, when you click on dashboard, when you click on drop down list, there is option to record a client refund. So for example, if we refund money back to clients, we'll be able to record it here through this section. So when you click new client refund, select for which client you want refund money or you have refunded, which day, what would be your money type or method, how it's been paid to this customer or money refunded to customer, and what was the total amount to refund it, and if need to, you can include also reference. And once you have filled in details, click Save Refund. So that's the way how refund can be recorded for a particular customer. Okay, so now we have fully covered the sales section. So guys, I have purchased some items to be able to take amazing pictures. So I have a new suppliers where I got some stationery items as well as some receipts from purchasing from local shops. So how I can actually add a new supplier and record invoices and receipts on Crunch accounting software. Let's have a look on next section called expenses. So how I can record or add new suppliers on Crunch accounting software. So how I can add my suppliers on my Crunch account. So on left hand side there is expenses and there's three sections: expenses, recurring expenses, and suppliers. Click on suppliers, and to add a new supplier, click on pink button on right hand side in the corner. Okay. And it's quite simple. Supplier card, add a name. For example, I have local shop limited. I can select the default category, so where these costs will go. For example, if I purchase from local shop, so they will go under purchases and materials. Or if you have purchase something from assets, so you can select one of those categories above there. So look at those categories, quite a long list, and select the one which is appropriate. So in my case, I will have purchases and materials for my local shop limited. Click save. And if I want edit or delete, so edit button is here, so I can edit information. For example, eCrunch Limited have defaulted themselves under accountancy expense type already. If I want delete, click on delete icon there. So let's add a couple more suppliers. Okay, so I have added multiple suppliers on this list. So how I can actually record supplier invoice? So to record supplier invoice, go on expenses section, and here we can create an expense. So click on create an expense. Now from drop down box I will select a supplier, for example phone limited, or I can add a new supplier by clicking on button plus new supplier, and this is how the same card will show up. So we'll click cancel. Then I will select a date, for example on 25th of April I had supplier bill coming through. I can attach a file if I have, so click on attach, drag or select a file from your folders. So this is how you can attach a receipt of it. You can add also a note. In that case, for example, it is May 2022, for example. Makes this chargeable to client. If this particular expense was incurred, we can actually mark as chargeable to client, and select to which client this will be chargeable to. In my case, it's not chargeable to any client because it's my phone bill. And I can add a reference if needed. So for example, it would be an invoice number from supplier. So I have phone. So that's my supplier invoice number. Okay, and now under item section I will add description, so it will be phone bill. Expense type, it's already default to telephone. Standard rate and amount I can select as I have £15. Okay, so it's already breakdown 1250 plus 250. If there is different VAT rate and supplier invoice, you can select one of available what is from drop down box provided. Okay, payments. So if this supplier invoice being already paid because it's part of direct debit or your standard payment from your bank account, you can add a payment already. In my case, I will just select that it's not paid yet. Okay, and click save. So we have recorded first supplier invoice. I will add a couple more invoices. Okay, so I have added internet rent, local shop bill and phone limited bill as well. So if, for example, you know that you have paid automatically, so once I added rent limited bill, we'll click and edit, we could add automatically payment. So if we know the payment been made on the same day when invoice been received, we could add a payment and then it will appear on our banking reconciliation tab. So if you know that you have definitely paid for this supplier invoice, you can already mark this invoice as paid. So it's easy and simple. If you haven't paid yet but you want to keep a record on system, just don't add payment until you know that you have actually paid for it. Okay, so this is a way how we can add supplier invoices and as well as receipt. But there is an easier way to record your receipts. So for example, I have one receipt from local shop, and as I enabled at the very beginning, there is mobile app called Snap, which enables or allows me to actually take a picture or snap of this receipt, and then it will read information and will appear on my account automatically. It might take a couple minutes for system to read information, but let's download a Snap and then log onto my account. Okay, use the same email address and password what you used to create your account. Okay, and Snap would ask if I would like to access my Crunch account. I will say allow. Okay, and there is three buttons expenses, that will be which receipts I have taken pictures of. Then I will have capture middle one, and then there is details about my account. So I will take a picture. So in my case, this is my receipt. Okay, need to select which bank account did I use. Just select one. I haven't set up bank yet, so and click submit receipt. Okay, so it's been submitted, and when I click on expenses, it shows a snap or picture of my receipt. So as I'm on free account or light account, I will have only 15, like allowance is 15 receipts only to upload. So it might take a little bit time for actually my receipt to show up on Crunch account. So we'll give it time and we'll come back to it. So let's continue with next category until my receipt is uploaded, and it's called recurring expenses. So if you have some expenses which recur every month, for example, like phone bill or rent bill or even internet, then we can set up recurring expenses. So to set up recurring expenses, click on create a recurring expense, and of course it will be the same way or similar way how we would set up a normal expense, and then in settings we would say this particular expense will recur every month. So for example, I have a new supplier starting from May, and it will be, let it be ABC Limited, and I will have, let's say, advertising of my business, and I will select that it will repeat every month starting from today, 2nd of May, and it would end on, and I will say that this will end at end of October. Okay, so let's say on 30th is the last day. So I can add a note to specify more details. So I can say there is contract number advert. Okay, I can also mark this one as chargeable to client if it is chargeable expense. In my case, it's just pure advertisement to my business. And I can add any additional reference. So if I want, I can add actually contract number under reference, or I can add any other information to reference going forward. Okay, so now under items, I will add social media postings, if it's correct wording. Okay, so social media postings, and it's advertising, standard rate, and I have agreed with a rate of £45. Okay, and I can select a payment method if it's debit, credit card. In my case, it will go out from credit card, and if I'm happy, it will be marked as a paid starting from 2nd of May. So if you want it recurring expense to start from any other period, just choose different starting date, and also you can select if you want this to repeat on any other time frames, for example on days, weeks, months, on years even maybe. So select the one which is more appropriate to your expense, recurring expense. And once we are happy, click save. Okay, I need to select account. I haven't got account yet. Can I delete payment? Yeah, okay, I will add payment at a later time. Okay, click save once you're happy. Now, when you are going under recurring expenses, you will see that we have added recurring expense supplier. I can edit it and I can delete it, so if it's needed. And it also shows that it's active now. Okay, so let's check expenses. And here it is. So I had uploaded receipt from my local shop. So I have three options to do. I can edit, delete, and then there's three dots which then create another like this. So if I have similar invoice with different amounts, I can actually like duplicate this entry. So I will click edit, and instead of having my name, I will change it to local shop because that's what is my shop. But if I want, I can keep the pure name of this business. So I will keep local shop. I can check actual date of my receipt. Was it 30th? Yeah, it was 30th. I can recharge to someone if needed. I can add a note. For example, I can add that it's receipt in different currency because I had in euros, so my euro sign is, it was 31.36, so I can add that kind of comment if needed. Also I can add a reference of this receipt, so receipt number is 113092. Okay, and in description it says that it's snap upload, so it's attached my receipt as well, and it's through Snap. So if I need to go back, I always can go back to my Snap app and get more details, and I can actually change it. This is not entertaining, this is supply materials. So amount is 26.30, and payment, we'll need to select payment method. We will cover bank in a minute. So select no and save at the moment. So because it has uploaded through Snap, it also shows that there is a receipt upload. Okay, so this covers how we can add supplier, how we can record expense or invoice, as well as how we can add any receipt when we use a Snap mobile app. Okay, and plus I forgot to mention how we can add a recurring expense. Okay, so let's move then to next section. Look guys, what I have. Let's have a look inside. Can you hear my sound? It's cash. So, this section will cover all relating to money. So, how I can actually record bank transactions if I have single bank account, or maybe if I have multiple bank accounts, as well as if I have credit cards. Is there an option to have bank reconciliations? And if I can do different transfers between bank accounts. So let's have a look at next section called banking. Money. So guys, now we will look at the section called banking. On left hand side, when I click on drop down box, there is multiple options what we can do and how we can record our money movements. First one is we will set up our bank account. So accounts and cards, when we click on accounts and cards, we can add a bank account and we can add a credit card. In my case, let's start with adding a bank account. To add a bank account, we need to add a display name. So in my case, I will say it's current account, and I will say it's personal. Okay, I will select my bank, so it will be my bank. And now I can select an opening balance. So before I started my business operations, I had actually money in my account already. So I will say that I have £1,000 in my bank account before I started my photography business. And now I can select what this account type or what account type this bank I have. And of course, as in description you can say, it's personal, so I will select personal bank account. But if you have personal bank account and you have also business bank account, you can add another bank and specify it as a business bank account. Okay, and I can confirm that this is in pound sterling currency account. Okay, let's add the sort code. Account number, how many digits I have? I think so 8. Okay, and I can add big and IBAN numbers as well. Okay, click save. Here is my current account with opening balance of £1,000. Okay, to add a new bank account, click on plus button there, and I can add a new bank account. In this case, I will add current account. I will call business. It will be Lloyds Bank, and I will have no opening balance. No, let's say I have 500 opening balance there, and then I can select its business bank account. I confirm that it's in pounds. I will select for test purposes or demo purposes all in zeros. Okay, so now I have personal, which is default main account, and then I have also business account. And of course, like all normal human beings, I have also a credit card. And let's do credit card. Okay, I need to add the last digits on the card. We'll say 7890. Opening balance, I have 0, so there is no outstanding money what I need to pay. And I will say that this is my personal credit card. Okay, and I confirm that this is in pound sterling. So this is how we can add a multiple bank accounts. Okay. Next thing, on left hand side there is option money transfers. So what do you mean money transfers? So if I move money from one account to another account, for example, I am moving money from business account to a personal account. Yeah, and for example, I moved it on 25th, and I moved 200. So if I moved from one to another account money, this is a way how we can add, and you can add a reference, say okay, so supporting supplier payments. Save. Okay, so this is how we can move money. If you move money between accounts, this is how we can record it as money as you need. Select date and amount. We can of course still edit it by clicking on edit or pen icon, and we can delete by clicking on that bin icon. Okay, to add another transfer, click on that plus sign button on the right corner, bottom corner, and you'll be able to add another transfer. Okay, next one, bank deposits. This is when we add cash depositing like money in. For example, if I add as a cash, for example, if someone pays me in a cash, I can add a bank deposit. Let's say I will deposit from myself, so from my money into, I can say personal account, and date I can say that it's been, let's say, on 26th April, and amount was £100, and I can add a reference that Jane paid in cash. Okay, so deposited from myself into current account. Once happy, click serve. So that's what mean deposit. So if someone paid in cash, we can deposit. We might need to look around to make sure to mark that Jane have paid it. It's actually not my personal money contribution into business. Yeah. Next, if we have interest received, then we have an option to add interest received. If there is any, then click on new interest, payment date, amount, payment method, so into business account transfer or business credit card. So let's fill in. So let's say on today, amount was, let's say, £15. Business credit card account. Okay, I can add a new credit card if there is. Cardholder is me, and reference interest refund, for example. And once you're happy with entry details, click Save Interest Received. So this will record interest in my business credit card account. From drop-down list, I can edit this or delete if needed. Yep. Okay. And then there is option called withdrawals. So for example, if you take money out from account, like I've done on, which day I done? On today, I took cash out. So I took on 2nd £50, and I took out from my personal account, but you can select from which one you took money out. So in my case, I took out from my personal account, and I can put it for personal use. Okay, and save withdrawal. So it will record my transaction, the money I took out. Under options, of course, I can edit and delete this transaction if that's not right. Yeah, if I took, for example, £50, but then I deposited back in, that's how I can then say, oh, actually it's in and out, and I can delete that transaction that actually didn't happen. Okay, so now we have added money transfers, bank deposits, interest received, and withdrawals. So any transactions what we'll make on this section will actually show under our accounts and cards, and it will show what we need to actually match still. So in current account we have one transaction to match, and that transaction is when transaction what is for money moved between business to personal account. So for every account under we have two options. We can edit it and we can click on more. So when I click on more, I can upload statement, I can view statement if I have uploaded one, view and reconcile statement entries if I have uploaded statement already. I can see view and reconciled crunch payments. Those will be these pink payments. We will be able to see what all those going under that section. We also can view our reconcile transactions once we reconcile transactions under particular account. Also I can view personal transactions and make as default bank account. For example, under business account, I can make this default bank account. In my case, personal is the main one. So let's have a look what is under these free transactions to match in Crunch. So when I click on view out on reconcile transactions, this is a list. So first one is money transferred from business account into my personal account. Then there is £100 deposit foreign change, and also there was £50 cash that I took out from account. Yep. So let's go back to banking and let's upload statement. So I select under which bank account I want to upload statement. In my case, it will be for personal. Go to second point, it's saying upload a statement. So let's choose a file. In my case, okay, it will be April bank statement. Open and click upload. Okay, so then on step 3, where is preview statement, you need to let system know which ones you want to select rows and which ones need to be ignored. So first one, we can see it's date, but when we click on drop down box, you can still change if that what's been defaulted by system is not right. So in my case, date is correct. This, where is a reference, I can say that it's reference is correct. I would ask ignore my sort code and account number. Well, then I'm saying that these amounts, let's say for first row, there is cash deposit, money coming in, this is correct column, so paid in and paid out. Okay, and then of course balance. So you need to make sure that you have balance, paid out, paid in columns, as well as date and description or reference. If you haven't got especially balance, you will be not able to upload this statement. Yeah, and once you're happy, click on import statement. Okay, pop-up shows that all 12 statement entries are found and they're fine. If there will be some errors, system will give a warning and you will need to come back and update that information if need. So I can import and start reconciling, and of course still cancel. In my case, I will just click import. Okay, so statement uploaded. I will go back to accounts and cards, and now there is 12 to match in bank message coming up next to 3 to match in crunch. To start bank reconciliation, click on match now, and I will have 12 transactions to match. So cash deposit, and it's already automatically matched with transfer from current account to current account personal. If I'm happy with this transaction, I will click on match. If this is my personal money movement, I will click as a mark as a personal, and if I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, I can skip the transaction and come back later. Yeah. So if you don't want it to reconcile there, you can untick and click on new payment in crunch and record new payment if this cash deposit doesn't match with what's happening with the transaction, what is available already on system. In my case, I will say that this is a pure correct match, and also click match. Okay, next one is phone limited £15, and there is no match straight away, there is only withdrawal, so I will click on skip. Local shop, there is new payment in crunch, I can record it, so I will click skip at the moment. Okay, Jane, £100, deposit from director account to current account personal, that's transaction, and it states that it's match, and I will click on match. Okay, rent limited, there is skip, I will say at the moment. Internet, I will skip. Alex, I will skip at the moment. Bank fee, okay, so bank fee, that is monthly fee. What happens, and I can new payment in crunch, and I can select what is that payment from 4 categories. If it's expense, withdrawal, money transfer, or client refund. In my case, it will be expense payment. And from my drop down box, of course, there is no Lloyd's Bank or bank. I will add bank charges. And let's find a group for bank charges. So bank charges are here under finance, and click save. Okay, so need to go back to reconciling. Match now. Okay, so let's skip, and bank fees. Okay, add new payment, expense payment. I will select my bank charges, 29. I can add more information if it applies. Bank fees, already pre-fills detail, and save and match. Okay, so that's been recorded. Okay, new Lucid 300, new payment in crunch. This is client payment. I will select Lucy, and I will allocate to invoice below. So I will add 300 here. Okay, and once I'm happy, save client payment. Okay, amount received 300, payment method. So when will she pay? 29. Okay, save client payment. Okay, so let's record phone limited. way how you can add payment through sales account. So click on sales, click on invoices, and we can see that invoice for 150 for Alex is overdue. The way how we can record payment is click on options and record client payment. Okay, so if we know a date, we can add a date when money been received. So when you look on statement, so in my case it's on 28th of April. Payment method, it was in my personal bank account, 150, and I can add any reference if there is reference number added. So I will say that 115 being received. But if you receive less than 150, you can say that only 100 being received, so it's only partially paid invoice. Yeah. So click on Save Client Payment. Okay. And now when I look on my invoice, let's go back to invoices. Okay, on invoices, and I click on Alex invoice 0005 and click on that drop down box. I can see credit. Okay, where is my 150? Oh, I'm looking wrong invoice. Oh, okay. So invoices. I need to look on last Alex invoice. So that one. Okay. So when I click on this drop down box, I can see that Alex paid 150 in my bank account. And when I click on options, I can edit or I can delete this payment. So now when I go back to my banking and accounts, I have one still to match, and that's for Alex. So the payment what I added under sales is now added into bank, and I can match with uploaded transaction from my statement. Click match. Okay, so there is nothing to do, and when I click on done, this shows what's been done recently. Okay, click on accounts and cards, and this is how my current account looks like, and that's my balance. So when I click on more, I can view reconciled transactions, and here is all transactions what been reconciled. If I want to do some corrections, for example, for £100 here, I can click on match, and in that case, when I will go to my accounts and cards, there will be one transaction to match in bank. So for example, sales, I will go to J, option, record client payment, I can click there, or if I go to invoice, I can add new payment under there as well. So Jane paid me on 26. So I transfer into business bank account, £100 paid in cash on hands. Okay, and £100 and save client payment. Okay, so now when I go back to my banking, and there is one to match in bank, and there is two options now. One is the deposit, what I paid in cash in account, and Jane payment. So in my case, Jane actually paid me in cash, so I could put the money into account. So to make sure that Jane's account is cleared and there is nothing outstanding, I marked that she had paid, and actually that £100 what I uploaded from bank statement as I've been entering or adding to my bank as a deposit, that actually belongs to Jane. So I will match this payment, but I will need to go and delete transaction from my bank deposit. Okay, so I will match with Jane, so Jane account is now cleared. But when I go to bank deposits and there is this £100, I will delete this transaction. Okay, so now in this case there is no outstanding transactions to match in my personal bank account. So this is a way how we can do different money transactions on Crunch accounting software, including how we can upload bank statement and reconcile our Crunch account. It is the time of the year when you need to submit your self-assessment report. So once a year you will need to submit details to HMRC about your business if you're a sole trader registered business, like in my case. So how we can do it on Crunch accounting software. Also, if you are VAT registered business, you will be able to submit VAT returns. Let's have a look on how VAT returns can be submitted as well on Crunch accounting software. Okay, reports. VAT return and self-assessment report. So both those have a separate categories or sections on Crunch accounting software. And as you can see on left hand side, there is VAT returns and self-assessment. Let's start with VAT returns. VAT returns are not included in free package. So if you need to submit VAT returns, then you will need to enable this function for $350 plus VAT per month. And Crunch is making tax digital compliant software, so you'll be able, without any worries, submit your returns directly to HMRC with help of Crunch team. So this would be an area where you will come and enable VAT submissions with help and support of Crunch team. Next report, and the most important report if you are not VAT registered or you are VAT registered, but you cannot miss the deadline of your self-assessment if you are sole trader. And now let's have a look at most important report for sole trader. So in my case, I have photography business and I am a sole trader, so self-assessment is the most important report once a year what I need to submit to HMRC. So from sidebar, click on self-assessment and there is self-assessment summaries below. So first one is for self-assessment for 20 and 21, which been not started yet, and then there is already for 21-22. So before I go to my last year's self-assessment return or report, what I would create, there is some points what you need to be aware of or what you need to make sure that you have information on your hands. So if you have worked somewhere else apart from just your sole trader business, you will need to get P60 or P45 forms quite close to you, because that information will need to be added in self-assessment report. Also, if you have had different sole trader income and those been not recorded on Crunch accounting software, bookkeeping software, you will need to have that details as well. So if you have kept another sole trader income on spreadsheets, maybe you need to keep that handy so you can attach and provide information on self-assessment. Also, if you have any rental income from your properties, if you have maybe Airbnb property, or maybe you have multiple houses and you are renting them out, that rental income will need to be reported on this self-assessment as well. And if you have got some dividends because you are shareholder in one of the companies, those will need to be reported as well. So all those information, those details will need to be kept once you start to fill in details on your self-assessment. So there is a check list on right hand side, things you might need before starting the process. So please be mindful and make sure that you have all these informations or paperwork or reports available when you start to fill in details. So let's have a look. So my tax self-assessment report for 2020-2021 has been not started, and let's click start. Okay, it's been overdue. Okay, get started. Okay, so On Crunch accounting software, I will need to provide my personal details and fill in details from that right hand side detailed list. So first one is personal information, which would include my name and surname and my address. Also my date of birth and gender. The most important bit in UK is national insurance number. So dig it out. You will need to provide your national insurance number on this self-assessment form. You need taxpayer reference information. So if you are registered with HMRC and you have been submitting your self-assessments previously to HMRC, you will have UTR number. UTR is unique taxpayer reference. That's what that means. And if you haven't got one, that means that you are a starter. So like in my case, I'm a startup company or startup business. I will need to get it from HMRC. So I will need to register with HMRC and they will send one in a letter or an email quoting your UTR number, what you will need to quote when you will submit your self-assessment. Okay. Next is self-employed income. So if you have any other income outside Crunch accounting software, this is where we'll need to add details. For example, I have photography course recorded on Crunch, but I also sell an ice cream on hottest summer months from Monday to Friday, and that's been not recorded on Crunch accounting software. So I will add my business activities here, saying that I'm ice cream reseller and how much I have made and what is expenses. Of course, I will need to attach a file including those details of my sales and my expenses, and also support documents for these expenses. Yeah. So Crunch team can check that information and make sure that it's all fine and you can claim as expense for your self-assessment purposes. Okay. Savings and investment income. If you have any received dividends, you will need to report it here. And if you received any personal interest from UK banks or building societies, you'll need to select yes and fill in details, of course, what's required. Yep, it's the same about dividends. Also, they're asking upload supporting documents. So every company who issues dividends often would issue a dividend summary, so you can attach that as a supporting details. As well, for your personal interest from UK banks and buildings, you will have a letter from bank confirming how much in interest they have paid to you. Okay, so if you have worked somewhere else, for example, if you know that companies, for example, at the peak time, which is Christmas time, need a hands on helping with a busy time of the year and helping businesses with employees taking holidays and etc. And you got paid by working in that companies, then you will need to provide details more. For example, if you had a salaried job, maybe you had some P11D benefits, maybe you received redundancy, or you received any government benefits, maybe grants or etc. You need to record those there. If you have UK property income from renting out property, maybe you have Airbnb account and you're renting it out, you will need to record that income here. So saying how many properties you have, do you live on any? So just straightforward answers, yes or no. And if you need to provide any other support documents, you will need to attach them to this particular section if that applies. If you have foreign income, click yes, otherwise you can click no. Is there any capital gains? For example, if you sell any assets and you need to report, if you have, for example, if you had a car and you sold that car, but you actually made money comparing from what you purchased in the first place and when you sold, so there'll be a £500 difference, you would need to report that one as a part of capital gains. If you had any additional income, like from UK pensions and etc., just select appropriate ones. And then there is straightforward yes or no questions about working out your tax. Yeah. So, for example, if you receive child benefit payments, so that might impact your tax allowances. Okay, and if you have made any payments on account already, if you had a sole trader business in last year and you needed to make any advance payments to HMRC, and if you have made any, click yes and add details. And once you're happy with all information what you have provided, of course you need to tick on all these boxes and agree with information what you have provided to Crunch team, so they can check and you taking full responsibility about your self-assessment. So once you're happy and selected all points under your final declaration, click accept and submit your answers. On free package, when you will click accept and submit my answers, in next page you will need to provide your bank details, because on free package you actually need to pay for self-assessment submission, which is £95 plus VAT if I'm correct. So, but if you use your second Sole Trader Pro package, you will be able to submit self-assessments for free on your account. So that's the way how self-assessments can be submitted to Crunch team. Crunch team will review information provided to them. They will make sure that you haven't typed something or there is no gaps or misrepresented information, and etc. And they will come back advising if that report is fine, or if they need more information they will ask it for you to provide. And once it will be happy, you will receive an email saying that you can go into account to check your self-assessment and submit to HMRC. Once you will submit to HMRC, you can also make a payment what you are liable to pay. So this part covers self-assessment and Crunch accounting software in overall. So guys, I hope you enjoyed watching my Crunch accounting software tutorial. But if you have any questions or require any further advice, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in next episode. And I don't take responsibility for that noise outside of my property. Sorry guys. Bye!